America to Korea continues. And of course, I always catch it live. And what I'll do is I'll record my thoughts in real time. And when I recap it, I'm giving my opinion as it's evolving, as a sort of play by play. I'm not going to like get to the end of the episode and come back and then tell you what I think after the fact. This is all notes from real time viewing. And so, we got an episode here that was basically 40 minutes this Monday. And I'm glad we're not restricted by some arbitrary length of time, because it could have easily ended at 30 minutes and then we wouldn't have gotten 4 trainees to look at instead of 3. So, this time around, we have a trainee from Dallas, one from Atlanta, and then 2 in New York. And, they can come from different places, but this is where they audition. And so the first girl is here, Melissa Cadas. She's 17. She's from Canada. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like this girl, she kind of gives me that Rima vibe from Neezy You. And she has acting experience. She likes singing and songwriting. And also, JYP got her to kind of let it go out that she has a sort of troubled relationship with her father. I think she's estranged from him, and maybe he was always kind of distant. But that aside, I feel like, even though you can draw from that and that's good for your acting and stuff, that aside, let's just look at her performance on its merits. And my impression of her, I think her singing here, is that she has a good voice. And I feel like the sound of her voice, particularly, it has lead vocal potential, just in terms of, like, I'm not sure what the right terminology is, but there's like a texture or feeling to it. But she was shaky in transitioning up and down throughout the song, as if she didn't really have it planned out, or she doesn't really have the instincts for it yet. Usually, like, people will just copy the way a song is sung, but I still will give her props for kind of taking command of it and doing it in her own way. According to JYP, he loved her emotion. But he did say her singing wasn't great, and she was kind of wasting too much air. Now gets a bit technical for me to understand, but I kind of think that we're agreeing a little bit, right? She has a good voice, and she emotes well, but maybe she's not well trained. Going to the next girl, we have a girl from Atlanta. Apparently, JYP went through all these girls, then it was a huge drought in talent. And the last one to step up was Christina Lopez Sandiford here, and she's 17. Apparently, she'd been singing and dancing for a long time, and her parents were performance artists themselves. And it was surprising when she said later on that she was also an entrepreneur, and she's like running her own K-pop academy kind of thing. I basically what the F out loud at that, because it's just kind of surprising. She's 17 years old. Like, how do you afford that? I guess her parents are doing really well. But, she gives me leadership vibes. And one of the reasons she gives me leadership vibes is, personally, one of the first jobs I had out of university, I had a project manager, and she looks kind of like a younger version of that girl that I used to work under. And so maybe I have a personal association of this girl's look with someone who's a leader, but I feel like on her own she's very disciplined. She leads people. I feel like there's something there as well, and so I don't think I'm the only one who's going to feel that. But I'm just letting you know personally, like, where I'm coming from, because that might be a bias of mine. That's why I see it that way. But I feel like it goes beyond that, and maybe I'm wrong. You guys can let me know in the comments if you notice that as well. But basically, she could be a leader, and I don't know if she's going to be leader of the group, but that would maybe depend on how fast she grows in ability. Like, I'm not sure if K-pop groups, if the leaders need to be competent in terms of their skill level, like being really good, like a Jiho. Like, Jiho's great at singing, and she's great at dancing as well. Probably one of the top in Twice, right? And so maybe in order to take her seriously as a leader, she has to demonstrate the ability to grow in that way when she's actually trained. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think she's competent enough to become a leader? I feel like she has that natural charisma, and you can't deny her background experience, even if she maybe developed bad habits, because obviously she wasn't trained by anyone, and so it's kind of presumptuous. It's like a presumptuous thing, right, to get into making a K-pop academy based on your own learning from YouTube and stuff. But anyways, that aside, her singing, I feel like she had a clear voice. To me, it wasn't good. in terms of her delivery, but her voice sounded very clear, and I feel like it's a nice voice. Now, JYP, he personally questioned her if she was ever vocally trained, and I thought he was actually going to say that it wasn't that great, and that maybe she did have bad habits. But he actually said that she didn't have bad habits, which surprised me. But he would know better than I do, because I don't really know, like, if bad singing is a result of bad habits, or how to identify the bad habits as they're happening. I only identify like good habits and whether or not the singing is going well. But I guess he felt he could train her. We'll see. Now in the next section where she dances. Now, when it came to dancing, I thought that she was keeping a good pace of the song, but kind of from one move to the other, I felt like her angles were kind of stiff. Like, if she's doing these moves here, if I imagined someone else doing it in real time, I would say that they achieved more feminine or aesthetically pleasing curves, whereas hers, it seems very neutral. Like, I don't know if there's a reason for that, but JYP himself, he pretty much vocalized my thoughts later on and said her dancing was amateur and her moves were restrained, like she could take up way more space doing moves. Maybe there's a thing to that, because if I'm saying she's stiff, then obviously if she loosened up and gave kind of wider hand movements and stuff, then it would be something that takes up more space. But he otherwise liked her, and he noticed that she's very disciplined, very hardworking, and he can identify the quality there. So next we move to New York, where we have actually two trainees in the New York area. And the first one is going to be Savannah Collins. She's 16 from Florida. I feel like this girl had a really nice look. She's a trained gymnast and dancer, and I could actually vibe check her from the previews in the last episode. And if you look at my review of the last episode, you'll see that I kind of, you don't have to see much. You just look at her and say, yeah, there's something there. And that's basically what I specialize in. I specialize in sincerity through like physiognomy, through posture and stuff. And I feel like something was there with her. And so for me, I liked her right away. And personally, I feel like she'd be a good fit for the group if she got in, just based on just seeing her here. But when it came to her dancing, let's see. When it came to her dancing, I felt she had good movements despite missing some of the moves. But I also noted that she didn't give up. Now JYP, he commented and said that she had some good moves and bad moves, and it had to do with when she was in situations where she was unprepared, where she was really confident in the moves she does well, but not at all confident in the moves she maybe didn't do well. And so, even with that said, I just knew you can't let this girl go. Like, there's just something about her, and I feel like there's like an intuition there. Some people, they just have it, and I think you can know it. Now, past that, you go to her rapping ability. In terms of her rapping ability, I thought her rap was good. But to me, it felt linear. And I wanted more kind of grit and swag. And I'm always like that. If you see my reviews on Boys Planet, if you see my reviews on Queendom, just looking at anyone who's performing, and all my reactions to just K-pop in general, I always like more grit and more swag. And that's me personally. It's like how I like rock songs. I like it to go harder as well. Now, JYP, he felt the opposite to me, and that he liked that she was rapping in her natural voice and wasn't overdoing it. And I can understand him from that perspective, because he likes sincerity. And for me, I just wanted a few more hills and valleys personally. But with that said, she is probably my second choice next to Lexus, in terms of my personal choice, who I would like put in a group kind of right away, provided she can get her skills up to par. And then, last but not least, we have this girl, and she's Kaylee Lee. She's 12, and she's from Philadelphia. Now, this girl, she comes across as a true acne with braces and all. Like, I thought Kendall would be kind of like the young one in the group, and that was before I really knew that the audition callouts were from age 12 to 16. And then, honestly, it seems kind of young to me, honestly. But that aside, like, just on its merit, I think Kaylee herself is a gem. Like, to me, she has basically no training. But to me, her singing was good. And I noticed that her breathing technique was really good. You can see it, and you can hear it. And it was funny when she ended her song early on as well, because everyone knows that you always get interrupted And so this girl is a girl who's like, she probably has a high IQ because she reads into patterns, which is basically what IQ is all about. It's like pattern recognition and stuff. And she knows how to best use her time efficiently. And so JYP, he thought that was hilarious as well. And when he commented on her singing, JYP also repeated my thoughts that her technique was flawless and her chest didn't move at all. Like he was basically saying she was probably the most perfect singer. And it's interesting how you can just kind of observe and see those things. But when it came to her dance, where is she? She dance. When it comes to her dance, there's a situation where her headband fell off, but I felt like she had good moves and like the curves, like we mentioned, like the opposite of what what's her name, Christina Lopez Sandford said had. Like the other girl had a problem with stiffness. This girl, she doesn't have that problem. And so she has good curves and good pacing as well. She's meeting the notes of the song, and she also ended it early again, which made everyone laugh. And JYP once again repeated my feelings on her dancing, saying she has good potential and her stature is really good. So I feel like this girl is really special. There's only 4 trainees in this episode, and I heard a rumor that the final group may only consist of 4. So that to me is shocking. That's like, I think that's less girls than ITZY. But are they really going to let that many people go? Like at this point, I'm kind of behind Lexus and Kaylee. And if Savannah can get her skills in line, I'm already seeing like 3 favorites. But I don't know if those guys make a balanced group or if they'll have good synergy. We'll have to wait and see what happens when they actually start training and performing together. Like I feel like you're either going to go for a group of misfits who kind of like all look different but come together in a similar way, or girls who do look similar, and then they have to have kind of a range of them in terms of subtleties, right? But yeah, I don't know how. I feel like I can make a group of 6 with these 7 girls we've seen so far. And so I'm kind of shocked that they would cut so many girls already if they only have a group of 4. But we'll have to see what happens. I don't know where I heard that from. I don't know if that's official. But people are saying group of 4 maybe. And so there's gonna be some disappointment, I think. And there was some disappointment in pretty much every show that JYP had, like 16, Neezy Project. Like there were disappointments, but there's gonna be so much more. In terms of the next show on Thursday, they're going to have LA edition, so I look forward to that. It's gonna be even more girls that are like nice, and that they have to get cut. But so far, there's a lot of potential here, and I think like so long as all these girls figure their way throughout the training, and I feel like they could all potentially be girls who could be in a group. And who knows? Maybe this could be a stepping stone. If you get eliminated, it's not just the end for you. Maybe you'll get picked up by another entertainment company looking to build a more foreign kind of group. But anyways, the presence of Kaylee actually changes some stuff from my bingo cards. Let's I think we can go to my bingo card because I play bingo. And so, let's see. Is any of these things checked off so far? Sob story intro. Ooh. When Melissa told us about her being estranged from her dad, I feel like that could be considered a sob story intro. I feel like we gotta give it to her. I feel like we gotta do it. Right? I feel like that's fair. Girl cries. There was a girl crying, but like I said, I don't like it. I don't like to check off girls crying because of happiness. It's got to be crying because you've been scolded, or you got to be crying because of stress or something else. Product placement. I didn't notice that. Body criticism. Did we see that? I don't know if we did. Early fave under pressure. They're still to be remain. No Asians in final lineup. See, I feel like Kaylee is a shoo-in. Like, I feel like JYP wouldn't turn her away. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe throughout the course of the show, maybe she'll change. Maybe she'll choke, and then she won't get her performances down. And so we never really know. Pretty Girl gets a free ride. Who knows? So that's it so far. We've only checked off one thing. One thing so far. But, yeah. A2K bingo. So far, we're actually getting a lot done. There's only 2 episodes, and we've already got like a good chunk of the board out there. And anyways, I guess that's it. There's not really much else to say. I like this show a lot, and I'm enjoying it. Uh, I feel like the 40 minutes is better than 30 minutes, but at the same time, I'm slightly worried that unless every Monday is going to be 40, every Thursday will be 30, unless they do some pattern like that, there's no reason to believe that they will stick to a specific run time. You could be watching a show and it could be an hour and 30 minutes or something. So we'll see what happens, but I'm kind of worried about that because then that means that it's going to be a little bit harder for me to cover them all. But anyways, I guess we'll have to wait to see. Also, keep in mind that even in 4 days, it will be Friday, which means that the day after the next episode of A2K, we're going to get DC Project 2, which is the Japanese equivalent of this, but it's going to be a boy band. And so I think that's starting on the 21st. So one day after A2K bingo, not bingo, A2K on Thursdays, another America to Korea episode. There's going to be on Friday another A2K, and I don't know if it's going to be at the same time. I think it may be in the early AMs for me, but who knows? I have to check it out. Anyways, that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comment box down below. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and then I'll see you in the next video.